Welcome to this 1-hour mobility and stretching session. This is quite a professional thing, but because of the length, but it's still something anyone can do. Now let's get straight into it. The first exercise is spinal waves. You will find all the detailed minutes and how long you do the exercises in the description of this video. In the video itself, I'm going to explain the exercises only, and this first exercise are the spinal waves. I did it on the knees just to show it better to you because of the camera angle, but you can also do it while standing upright, of course, as you might know this exercise. Then the next thing we are going to do is some spinal mobility on the floor for the thoracic spine mainly, but also for anything else. We go in a 4-foot stance and then we do clockwise rotations of the spine. As you can see, I'm trying to move through all of my spine parts. I'm bringing in my head, even my arms are doing the circling motion a little bit. You can oscillate as much as you want. And if we have done that, we are getting into the groin rock on the right side first. This is an exercise to open up the hips. You of course don't have to square to one side as I did. I just did that to show the exercise better to you. And then I'm moving up and down and trying to get into the hips. Sometimes it helps to elevate the knee that is on the ground if you're having trouble getting into it. Then I will do hip opener, hip rotation, which is a circling movement, sometimes known as fire hydrants. I just do the circles and switch sides, switch directions whenever I want. And then I'm getting into a glute bridge, which is a glute activation exercise. I'm getting in there slowly, trying to pelvic tilt backwards, as you can see. And I am trying to engage my core muscles, trying to get some type of tension in there and focusing on tilting backwards with the pelvis, which will turn on my glutes and hamstrings. 30 seconds of that, and then we will go through the counterclockwise movement of the 4-foot stance, 4-foot stance spinal rotation, which is now the beginning of the opposite movements. Of course, the groin rock is next. With the groin rock, by the way, you can also stay in a position if you want to do that. If you don't have to move all the time, you can feel a stretch for a few seconds, as you see me doing it right now, in either end position or mid position of the movement. Feel free with all the exercises that we are doing here. There is no strict rule for any of them. Try to explore your personal mobility and your movements and you will be fine. This doesn't have to be too strict. Same applies to the hip rotation, which I'm doing on the other side now. Left leg, groin rock, now right leg, hip rotation. Of all the exercises we are doing here in part 1 of this workout, the mobility part, you will have 3 total rounds, so enough room to explore every single exercise. And then we're getting into part 2. By now you should pause the video and complete all the 3 rounds of the exercise. And we do the deep split squat pulses. You can elevate your heel if it's easier for you. I don't have to do it, so it was just optional. The back knee should not touch the ground, and then you pulse up and down. Bring your knee far in front of your toes, and yeah, stretch. It's a good stretch mobility exercise that covers both things equally and also builds some strength in the hip flexor. You can even elevate your whole foot if it's hard for you getting in there. The higher your foot is elevated, the easier it gets, like on a countertop, some small objects, yoga blocks, whatever you have available. And then we get into the stretching part of this workout. Oh no, I'm sorry, we will activate feet before we stretch. Thing we are going to do right now, of course, getting rid of the socks. We don't need them now. And we will do a few ankle walks. You can walk through your apartment or wherever you do it, through your gym, but you could also just walk up and down, sideways, backwards. We start on our tiptoes. I'm trying to not move the knees, just move from the hips, small steps. You see me walking around, forward, backward, sideways. And then we do the heels, which is the opposite of tiptoes, of course. And now, yeah, here you can see me walk in any direction. This is up to you. You could even go sideways. Just spend 30 to 60 seconds in each position. Then we do inside edge. You can even see my hands getting into the movement a little bit. Checking the next exercise. And then I am doing the outside edge as well, which feels pretty comfortable for me. Stretches the peroneals, the outside muscles of your lower leg. Here you see me walk backwards. There are so many options. You could just walk through your apartment. Probably there are even some obstacles you want to build in there to make it more fun. Again, movement exploration and having your own flavor to these exercises makes it even better. Finally, we get into the stretching part. We will focus on your back side today with the stretching. And what we do first is a toe sit. This stretches the soles of your feet. If this is too strong for you, it might be for some people, you can lean forward a bit, then it gets easier. We do that for 3 sets of 30 to 40 seconds. It's perfect. And the next thing we are going to do is the only stretch for the front part. It's the tibialis. Just to do this great stretch. It's not very common to stretch the tibialis, although pretty beneficial to relieve some stress, especially if you have problems in your lower leg or foot area with some overuse pain that you have. You just lean back as far as you can. You could even hold on to something if it's too strong. And that concludes the tibialis stretch. And then we do a half split variation that I kind of created on my own, where I'm focusing on the front leg, sitting down on the other leg. It's a bit inspired by some yoga exercises. We do a 10-second development, a 10-second pre-stretch, just to get 1 or 2 breaths in. And then after 10 seconds, I'm getting a deep out breath and trying to get deeper into a 50 or let's say 40 to 50 second development stretch where I get deeper into it. Of course, I don't want to forget the other side when I'm stretching. Here you can see it again. I'm just stretching slightly, trying to get a few breaths in, trying to get comfortable in the position. And after 10 seconds, I take a deep out breath, and then I am getting deeper into the stretch and trying to work on it. It should still not be painful. You could press from behind to keep a flat back if you want to do that. There are a lot of options. Then we do the side glute stretch, which targets the outside part of your glutes. You lay down, bring one foot up, and then fall down. Bring one foot up to the knee or to the lower part of your thigh, and then you just fall to one side, to the side where your knee is up, and feel the stretch in the glute area. This is a nice stretch because it's pretty passive. You don't have to actively stretch into it too much. I like those stretches most, where I can just get into a position through some resistance, however it is. In this case, my own leg gives me some resistance, but these stretches I enjoy most because I can really feel what's happening. I can focus on my breath and I don't have to actively pull into a stretch. And after that is finished, I have written down a calf stretch variation up to your personal preference. You need a wall. You could either stretch the gastrocnemius, which is the upper part of your lower leg, by just having a straight knee, or you get into a bend knee. Then you will get the soleus, the lower part of your lower leg. Whatever you do, again, get into a pre-stretch and a development stretch. Feel free, whatever you enjoy more, what's better for you, and hope you enjoy the workout. See you in the next video.